Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of What Do You Call It podcast. I'm your host, GB. Yes, I do have a mustache, brand new. Thought I'd try something different. Got something lined up for the weekend, so I'm testing it out at the moment. I feel like a retired porn star at the moment with the shirt. Doesn't really help, but the shirt's going to be worn, so I thought I'd test it out. Not for the podcast, but I just thought I'd just keep it on at the moment. So all good. Because I know someone's going to comment, what the fuck is he wearing? And what's that on his face? Not cat pillar. So I just thought I'd address that, you know, get that out of the way. But we're not here to talk about my mustache or what I've been up to. Today's guest is a true babyface, up and comer in the women's division in British wrestling. She's already making a name for herself. So please give it up for Violet Knight. How you doing today? You all good?
I'm very good. How are you? I will say I do like the tash. It does suit you.
Thank you. Thank you. So I don't look like Cleveland from Family Guy.
Well, a little bit,
You can admit if you
just a
want.
little bit.
All right. No, that's cool. That's cool. Thank you for acknowledging the mustache. So we're already off to a good start, and I'm glad that things have been all right
Yeah.
for you. Things have been good for me. So I want to rewind the clocks. Actually, before I do that, something I saw on your social media. So you actually had a career milestone you accomplished recently, and that was your first main event, and you faced off against
Yeah.
Luna at Luna Blue. It was at TGW, Top
Yeah.
Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
So I'll let you reveal the winner. And I want you also to talk about this achievement and overall experience.
So it was me and Luna main eventing at Top Turnbuckle Wrestling, and it was the fourth show that they've had. So like for a new company, especially, that's a massive thing to have a women's main event, which
Yeah.
did mean a lot to me because I felt like they must have a lot of trust and must believe in me to do that and put me in that position. So when I found out, I was quite nervous, but I did really enjoy it, and it was one of them things where it's like I just can't believe it's happened so quickly in my career.
Mhm. And the fans are behind you, and
Oh yeah, for sure.
they proper were supporting you. They were like, I've seen a few of the matches already, and saw the images. I've not seen this match because it's not uploaded yet, but I've seen the other matches for TTW,
Yeah,
and those fans are proper
yeah,
behind you. And I will touch on that about the fan base that you have already early on in your career, which is awesome. But the match itself, you did get the W, the victory.
yeah. I did get the win. That was not an easy win, but it was a it was definitely main event worthy win.
Nice, nice. No, congratulations to that. That's awesome to achieve it so early on in your career.
Thank
Some people may not even get to the main event in their career. For you to do that, awesome. That's pretty awesome. But I want to actually rewind the clocks and talk about what actually led to you getting to the main event, your wrestling career, and you being a wrestler. But before we can actually talk about that, I want to know what actually got you into wrestling in the first place.
so it's probably the most generic sort of answer you can give,
Hmm.
but the film Fighting with My Family and Paige, Soraya now, but that was a massive thing that got me into it, along with my little brother.
Hmm.
He was about 6, 7 at the time, and he was into his wrestling with his friends at school, and he got the video game, 2K20, I think it was, or something like that.
Hmm.
And I'd just play with him all day, and we'd just spend all day playing on the PlayStation, just and I was like, oh, that's a cool move. I was thinking of like different moves and things I could do and try. And in the end, the film came out. I watched that, and I was like, I want to give it a go. I want to see if I could do it. So my mum and dad, the previous month, had took my brother to watch a local wrestling show,
Yeah.
and they said, go watch a show, see what you think, like in person, and then if you still want to do it, we'll take you to a training school. So I went and watched a show the following month, and that was October 2019. I think I watched a show, and then I just said, yeah, I fell in love
You're
with it
hooked.
there. And
Yeah.
first training session, I was just hooked after that. Just
Mm.
massive smile on my face the whole time.
I love that. Just kind of hooked straight away. I want to dissect a little bit of what you said already. When you did watch Fight with My Family, by the way, no one has actually said that. So I know you said that's
Was
going
there
to
not?
sound generic. Some people mentioned like the video game or kind of watching it through the eyes of like their sibling. But in terms of actually watching that film, specifically getting them into wrestling, that hasn't been said in the podcast. So fair play to you, and the fact that that film was so influential to you in your wrestling career, I thought it was great. Personally, did you know before watching it that it was based on a true story?
I did know before, because just before that came out, I was watching like on my TV. I like go on YouTube, and I'd just constantly Google like the Divas time period of that sort of WWE, and I'd just YouTube all those matches, and I'd just sit there for hours watching every single match, and I'd just search Becky Lynch and then just watch all the matches of Charlotte Flair, and I just break it down in all these individual wrestlers rather than watching it all over. I was just like, okay, I'm just going to focus on one, then the next. And that got me hooked into it. And then seeing Paige on there, I was very, very... The fact that I knew she's from England as well got me more like invested into her character and her as a wrestler. And then to see a film had come out about it, I was just like, I've got to watch it. And I think my mum and dad got sick of me watching it just all the time because it was just on repeat, non-stop.
But it had that impact on and that's pretty cool. I think I watched it like twice myself, and I thought it's a really good film. I think they did the best they did with it being a comedy, not necessarily a proper drama. And I thought it's so well with their characters, especially Paige and the dad, Mickey Knight as well. Like he's what's his name?
Yeah,
I think it's Frost something. I always forget his name. He's in Shaun of the Dead, but everyone plays their part. Nick Frost. How can I fucking forget his name?
Oh, is that it?
It was Nick Frost, yes. Shaun of the Dead.
Was it? Yeah.
Hot Fuzz. Hello there. I've got a special announcement from my next guest, and we're definitely not re-recording this.
Hey, this is Ronnie Knox, and this is What Do You Call It podcast.
Yeah, I heard. The point I was making is that it had an impact on you. Everyone played their part. It's a great film, and it hasn't actually been said on this podcast. But when you were playing the video game, did you find yourself playing as Paige quite a lot, or sort of Becky Lynch, or just any character that kind of jumped on the screen?
So my brother liked to make his own characters as well. So he used to make up me as different characters and make one for me. And then I did play heavily as Paige or Becky Lynch, because Becky Lynch, again, she's one of up there is my top like dream opponents, or like I'd love to just get the chance to learn with that, like learn from her, or just be able to wrestle or something. Becky Lynch, she had a good like big part in it as well for me.
Yeah. Becky Lynch is awesome. I met her I think like nearly 10 years ago now, and I was just like really shy. I was just like, you're really awesome, thank you. But now what she's achieved as well, main event WrestleMania. Just
2 belts.
But I miss Becky 2 belts. I actually preferred as that.
Yeah.
As opposed to now, I think I'm not really enjoying the Trish feud. I think it's kind of dragged on a bit.
Yeah.
And I want to see her do new stuff now and just move on a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
But what I do want to ask you is, I think you did touch on it briefly, is the wrestling school. So what was your parents' initial reaction to you wanting to become a professional wrestler?
So it was mixed reaction, obviously. My mum and dad would support me no matter what. They're really, really supportive, and I'm so lucky to get parents like that. And so initially both of them would come to my training to watch me, because I went into my first wrestling school I went to, and I was the only female, and so it was a lot of lads and blokes at that school. So it was one of them where it's like they're a bit, they wanted to be careful for me, which is like completely understandable.
Yeah.
And so for a while,
first time there.
Yeah, I was about 14, 15 at the time as well.
Yeah.
So it was definitely one of them that were wanting me to be careful and wanted to be careful themselves. And I went in and everyone was so lovely and welcoming. And for a while it was both of them. And then eventually my mum would take me every week and she'd sit and watch me train. Not because she necessarily didn't trust the people anymore, but she became part of that group and she enjoyed being there and enjoyed the banter that we had. So my mum like really enjoyed that part of it, so she'd come, and it got to a point where I was going like 3 times a week, and she just loved it. And then I learned to drive, and then she felt like kind of left out because
has she like jumped in the car with you since, like, can I still come?
She sometimes she's like, oh, I'm gonna have to come soon, I'm gonna have to come with your training.
But
I train all over the place now, so I don't have a home promotion or anything like that. I kind of just train in a fair few different schools around the country, really.
That's good though. Like you're going to pick up different things, not just one thing and have one
Yeah,
style. And you're going to learn just how sort
yeah,
of different towns and different styles and promotions as well, and interacting with other people as well. And
yeah,
it's just for the future and other promotions when you do travel across the country, that's going to benefit you so much.
yeah. I started out at one promotion, but for me, I felt like I'd outgrown it, and
Yeah.
there's a couple of like behind the scenes politics and stuff, and I just left it off my own back. But that didn't stop me training. I since then I've actually trained a lot more places, and I can't. It's kind of a blessing in a way. It was difficult to leave because your loyalties lie with your first ever school and stuff like that. But I felt like I was at a point where I needed to progress, and I couldn't do that.
Not necessarily your brain.
So I'll travel to Manchester quite regularly to go up to train with Marty Jones, and then I'll go to Leamington and Gloucester and Stoke and all over the place, really, wherever I can find somewhere to train that I like is a friendly school and I know people there. It's always nice to. I've made loads of friends through it, and I just enjoyed the different styles and techniques and ways people think and learn, and passing on, if I've picked something somewhere else, passing that on to somewhere else. I just love the whole friendly aspect, because a lot of schools are friendly, but a lot of places are very political in wrestling, and that's why I've decided to not have a set home place, because it's just the politics can get a bit much.
I respect you, and for you to have this mentality at a young age as well, it's very courageous. For being honest, I think people don't really necessarily pick up that mindset until later on in their career. But for you to think, okay, look, I don't want to sell money. I'm not enjoying it in politics. I want to do this. I know what I want to do, and for you to sort of, have the guts to do that. I just have to applaud you on that one. How was Marty Jones, by the way, as a coach? I actually spoke to someone recently about him, and nothing but praise for him.
He's such like the sweetest, loveliest old man sort of thing. I've learned so many different things, and it's a lot of it's just the little bits and pieces that I've picked up and be like, actually that makes sense. And from going there and watching wrestling, I'm watching it in a completely different light to what I used to watch even as a wrestler. And he has so many, his way of explaining things can be a bit like confusing, but you get used to that way he explains it. But it's like, not in a bad way. You go, okay, that leg, no, that leg, no, that leg, and you have to like try and decide. You have to say about 5-6 times before, but you finally get there. But I look like it's about a 2-hour drive, 2.5 hours sometimes to get there. But I love going up and training there because
will you be there all day?
I learn so much.
Or was it just like a few hours?
No, so just about 2 hours. So I spend longer driving there and back than I do actually there. But I know how much it benefits me, and I know how far I want to get in my career. And I know by doing these things that take a lot of time and energy, and it's worth it for me. It's worth every penny and every moment and minute.
No one's just going to hand you that knowledge
for me.
free, are they? They're not just going to be like, okay, look, just mess me whenever.
100%.
Like, they're going to be bombarded. They have their own schools. They have lives. But when they have the facilities and that time frame, okay, that allows them to train you and, give you as much information as they can, then take that opportunity as you are doing. And I think a lot of wrestlers can really benefit from that. That's not just to call out any names. I'm just saying, when you do hear from like wrestlers that kind of have made it, they will talk about something like this. I've had to do this and travel this and this and and it's just, it pays off. It will pay off. And
100%, it'll always pay off. It's just, you got to have the right mindset. And I found from politics and drama and stuff like that, but it's put me in a better mindset because it just taught me to just do what's right for me and do whatever puts me in the best position and takes me as far as I need it to take me.
Yeah, definitely. Because at the end of the day, it's, it's your body that you're putting on the line. You are the boss yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
And you've got to protect yourself as much as you can. But that's That's awesome. I actually want to go ask you about your debut. I like asking British wrestlers about their debut, first ever match, because a lot of them have family there, battle royals, or just sometimes it can be quite funny. Sometimes it might not
Yeah.
be the best debut, but I want to hear from your experience. How was it?
So I had Nadia Sapphire for my debut,
She's quality.
and
She's really cool.
she's lovely. I love whenever I get to have a match with Nadia or just see her at the same show and we get to talk. And she's always kind of, I've always been able to, if I've had an issue within wrestling or if I wanted to, when I first wanted to get out there, she was the first person who gave me people's names and people's, but Nadia's lovely. And I was terrified in that gorilla position behind the curtain. I felt sick. I thought I was going to pass out.
Oh, bless
But
you.
as soon as and hit, and as soon as I went out there, there was a moment where the light hits you and you're a bit all over the place. But I went out there and the whole crowd, and to see every single child, like little boy and girl, like cheering and chanting, considering they never like met me or seen me before, was just like almost overwhelming. And I had quite a few friends and family there, but it wasn't till the second show I did that I had a lot more friends and family. And at one point they got a chant and every single person in the room was saying it, and I had like a tear in my eye and I had to stop myself from like smiling in the middle of a beat down. So I was there and I was just like I was just so overwhelmed. But I came back behind that curtain and I was like, I didn't like the way I did this, it wasn't this, but it's never going to be perfect. And looking back,
the first ever match.
Exactly. I can't critique myself to the point where at that time that was the best I was.
Yeah.
So I look back and I cringe at watching old matches, but at that time that was the best I was. So I need to look at it and think, actually I was quite good in that time period. Obviously now I've improved because I've done a lot more shows and I've trained a lot more, but it's just one of them, no one's going to be happy with their debut ever. And it's just a matter of fact. And any wrestler or any trainee looking to be a wrestler, you're never going to be happy with it. You've just got to.
You guys are your biggest critics.
Oh, 100%.
I'm doing this podcast, I don't know, needs one of the episodes in now, and hearing people's stories and just not necessarily debuts, but just how they review their own stuff and their own content. I could do better. I want to improve. And I just think it's not a bad thing. It's not, that's a bad way of thinking, but it's not. You just want to be the absolute best that you can be. And if you still think you can improve 10 years on or whatever, then, I admire that because you just still want to be the absolute best. And as time goes on, you're not going to settle.
Never. Never going to be happy. And that's when you see the difference in types of people. You've got, like, I'd say, from my experience in wrestling, you've got two types of people. You've got the ones who, no matter how good or bad their match is, they're always going to critique it, and they're always going to be like, I don't like this, or I wasn't very good at this, and they're always going to have criticisms. And then you've got a second type of person who thinks they're the perfect match every match, and they're the type of people I see and I'm just like, they're going to only stay at a certain level. They're never going to progress because egos, or they're just never going to improve to a point where you could potentially be like WWE. Very rarely, I think that would ever happen.
No, I get that. Also, shout out to Nadia, by the way. I actually met for the first time on Saturday because in pro wrestling. I interviewed her about 2 years ago in the podcast, and I was just like, Nadia, shook her hand and stuff. And I was working backstage, and she's really cool. And I'm glad that she made your day so much better as well, because you've wrestled before, and you do have an upcoming match with her as well, don't you? And that's is it Herman Luna? End of that's it. I had that somewhere noted, but
like I've wrestled Nadia twice, I think. Forever Rivals, one of their debut shows, I think it was one of their early days a couple of years ago. It was, again, I was still fairly new to the scene and the circuit, so even in the couple of months apart from my debut to that match, she'd seen a massive improvement. Obviously, like, compared to now, it's different, but whenever she's on the same show as me, I always ask her to watch it and give me feedback, because I really appreciate any input she has, because how long she's been around, and I have so much respect for her, and she's just so lovely.
No, I respect that. And the fact that you're asking your opponents, and still, even if wrestling once, you still want to like ask them in future shows, look, is it okay? Anything you can criticize or anything you want to praise? And that's always willing to learn. Another person that you have wrestled a few times, and I've seen the matches on YouTube, Kiara. Had her on the early days of this podcast. And great guest, but I'd like to ask you, someone who has competed with her a few times, how was she as an opponent?
Oh, she's great. She gets the crowd to hate her as much as I get the crowd to love me.
She makes it easier for you to be
one of my one of my favourite chants of like people like against her is Primark Princess. That's one of my favourite ones I've heard
really
out
creative,
there,
and the family show as well. I kind of expect that for adults, to be honest. That's really creative.
When the first time I heard it, I was like, I love that. I'm just going to use that whenever I have a match with her.
There's no merch, by the way. That's a crime. That is.
She's so easy to wrestle and work with, and as a person, she is really lovely as well. I've seen her like at the shows when we haven't wrestled, and then we've wrestled, and both times like we get on so well, and that's why we have such good chemistry in the ring, and that's why our matches always flow nicely and go well together, I think, because we get on so well outside the ring. When we do wrestle, it's just the chemistry is there and it just flows so nicely.
It easy for you guys, doesn't it? Just the fact that you automatically connect, you get on so well.
And because we've worked together quite a bit, we know each other's movesets more, and we can communicate without even talking. Like, I can do something and she knows what I'm trying to tell her to do or trying to do, and we know each other well enough now, sort of thing. I love the chemistry we have.
There'll be more matches, and I feel like it's just a night off for you guys.
Yeah.
You got on so well. You have the matches. You kind of know each other so well already. You don't really have to sort of go through it before. Not that wrestling is predetermined, but and the crowd in attendance from the matches I saw, they were having a good time. Primark Princess. By the way, that's quality.
It's my favourite one.
Kiara, if you do listen to this, by the way, merch, get it done. This simple. It will sell. I will even plug up the show. Well, if you're gonna wear it as well, I think it'd just be. I don't know why. It's stuck in my mind now. But I'll show up about Primark Princess. It just made me laugh. But I want to ask about future opponents in women's British wrestling for you. Who have you got your eye on at the moment that you think, oh yeah, I could have a really good match with them? I think we could tear the house down.
So I've got about 3 people at the moment that I'm really like. I'd really love to have a match with, like dream opponents on the scene that is a possibility for me to have at some point. And Ryan Leverkusen's one. She's making absolute waves in the women's wrestling scene at the moment, and I'd love to get a chance to have a match with her. LA Taylor. And Lana Austin. They're my top 3. And I'd love to just have a match with any one of them.
Lana Austin is so good at getting hit.
Just all 3 of them. Oh yeah, amazing. I've never seen her live, but I've been following for a while, and I'd love to just have a chance to have a match with her, because I know we'd just work so well, because I get so much. Like the crowd, I get over so well with the crowd, and they love me so much. She gets such good heat. Both of them together just work so nicely.
Yeah, I was at Progress a couple of years ago, and Lana Austin was in the car. She was wrestling, and even I was like, bah! I'm like a grown adult, and I'm booing her just because she's so good at being a heel. She's bad at anything, just because what she does and the characteristics, and you want to boo her.
She knows how to. She knows how to get the crowd to boo her. It's like she knows how to get the crowd to want to get rid of her and just not like her. She just knows how to do it. It's just it must come so not natural, but like I think naturally you either babyface or a heel. I think it just depends on, not necessarily as a person you're nasty or really nice. But I think naturally you are drawn to being better at one than the other. And for me, I'm just a babyface because I can't not be horrible, or I can't.
Because it's one of the things I've noticed in your matches, and even if people going on social media, I will plug that, by the way, don't worry. But they'll see your fan interactions and they see it in the matches. And there was a match, it was with Kiara. They truly, no, it wasn't Kiara. Yeah. Was it Kiara? But I can't remember what it was. But either way, sorry, there was a match that you had, and they literally go out and they hug you, and literally they're not even at the ring yet. And like everyone's they're queuing up at one point. They won't leave you alone.
I for one match I had, I was there and I was like, because I look like, for me, like on the inspiration, like that's kind of the Black Country inspiration. If you know the Black Country, like it's not Birmingham, it's just outside, but that's where I'm from, and I'm quite proud to be from there. But the inspiration, if a lot of places, because I don't know. But for me, my main goal is just to inspire, especially young girls, like lads as well, but mainly young girls, to just do what they want to do and whatever career path they want to follow. Don't let anyone stop them from doing that. And it's probably like proper generic. I'm like an inspiration, whatever.
No, honestly, this is believe, and I kind of hear it in your voice and your passion. Sort of far away, honestly. It might sound like it's, like you said, it's generic, but it's what you believe in. So if you believe in it, then it's not going to sound generic in a way. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's, for me, massive thing is just to have someone believe in you, no matter what it is you're going for. It doesn't matter who it is, as long as one person believes in you, or just like Paige did with me and inspire me. If I can do that to one little girl to do any sport or any sort of career path, if I could never wrestle again tomorrow, I feel like I've done what I need to, because it inspired someone else to do what and get to where they want to be. I just, for me, that's part of my character, and I put into it so much.
And you can see them on the TV or social media, or whatever, and they could be like, "Yeah, via night, I saw a wrestle, high fived or gave her a hug during the match."
Yeah.
And it's just always stuck with me. That's why I think with wrestlers, when they meet the fans, it is very important, because those first impressions will live with you forever.
Massively, yeah. And I always try and go an extra mile if I can. So there was this little lad that always came to my wrestling shows that I did locally to me, and his name's Logan, and he's like the sweetest little lad. And
shout out to Logan.
He's only about 11 or 12, or not even that. He's a bit younger than that. But he's autistic, and so for him it's very real. But I've always tried to make sure to acknowledge him, and I've always gone over and made sure to give him a hug, and he sent me voice notes through his mom's Facebook and that, and be like, "Oh, Violet, I'm so excited to see you. Good luck to your match."
Yeah.
And I turned up at his birthday party, surprised me and his mom sorted out, and just surprised him at his party, and his face was just in shock. He didn't know what to do or say, and I was just so happy to make his day more than anything. And just anytime I can see that, I just feel like it makes me love wrestling even more, and makes me want to push even harder, because the more I get known and out there, the more people I can reach, and the more I can just, it makes me want to do it more, and then it's just a big circle.
I was fair that. That's made me genuinely smile. That's a really cool story. That's, I need to man up now a little bit. So. That's awesome. No, I appreciate you telling me that. That's really cool. There might be a Logan at every show, and for a wrestler to take that time and just do something that will make him feel special, and just
make that it
can change their lives, and in a positive way.
Yeah,
I would hope so. But yeah,
because especially like people who like, especially children who suffer with like autism and things like that, they can have a tougher time at school, and other kids can be very mean sometimes. And if I can do one little thing like that, to make them feel special, then I'm happy, because at least it's for them in that moment. That's all they care about, and just to make their one day, make them smile, makes me smile. And to see the photos after shows where I'm giving the kids hugs and stuff like that.
So we just had some fuck's sake. So and we just trip over our own words as well. So we just had some technical difficulties right there, but we're back. And Violet was just telling me about the importance of being a good baby face, what the fans mean to her, and just her own personal experiences with the fans. She was just referencing Logan, who actually turned his house after arrangement with his mum as a surprise for his birthday, which is really cool. That was really cool for you to tell the story, and hopefully you get to see him at the show again. Tell him what you call it, podcast, and if his family want to subscribe as well. I can't believe I used that as a cheap plug. I'm joking, but no, it's cool. It's cool that it means a lot to you, those fans interactions, because a lot of people can just be babyface for the sake of it and don't really actually want to know the fans. But for you to actually mean what you say and to enjoy each and every one of them. But I actually find it harder to be a good babyface in this day and age than a heel.
It's a mix of things. I think naturally everyone wants to go a heel because everyone says it's easy, which I don't think is true, because I don't think it's easy to do either. I think it's easier to be a heel because you don't have to worry so much about being so nice. But me, naturally, as a person, I'm quite a baby face anyway. So I could never pretend, because it just wouldn't portray as real as it does a baby face for me.
Just the listeners out there, she has been a full heel in between the interview and before. I'm joking. That is
I have not.
No, honestly, it's been easy to arrange this with you, and it's been a really fun chat. It's just, it's been good. Been quite relaxing chat, so I can't complain. So I'm gonna ask you one last question, my famous question. It can be wrestling related. It's up to you. You're the host, but I want you to pick 3 dream dinner guests for your dream party, dead or alive, fiction, non-fictional. It can be anyone, your neighbor, or it can even be a cat. Up to you. You're the host, but I want a brief reason as to why you want them there as well. Go.
That's a really good question, actually.
Thank you. So all other questions
really
have been shit, basically.
No, you're just saying it's a good one to think about, because there's so many people out there.
Big time.
Paige would have to be there, Soraya. I don't know what you want to, whatever you refer to her as nowadays, because of her inspired me to get to where I am today and wanted to get as far as I want to possibly get. I'd love Tina Turner to be there.
Good fucking answer.
Proud
Good
Mary.
answer.
Proud Mary. That's my reasoning. That's the Proud Mary. That song. That's the only reason I need for that.
Tina Turner. That's
such a legend.
Got time for that.
Such a legend, and I just love Tina Turner. And she faced so many challenges, but overcame them. And came out of there so much stronger than what. She's such a strong, influential woman.
She got put through a lot of crap by then, but she overcame it.
Oh yeah.
Became one of the biggest icons in the music industry.
Yeah, so empowering in a way.
Definitely.
One more. I'm trying to think now. It's a really good question. I'd love to have Cher there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're big into your music, but not just modern music, but Cher and Tina Turner and
no.
Oh, I was gonna say Aretha Franklin.
Oh, Whitney Houston,
Oh, what a voice she had!
To it Yes, I love the powerful female singers, and I love Cher, and she aged so beautifully, and she
might have had some
she aged so like
cosmetics
gracefully.
right.
Yeah, there's definitely cosmetics in there, but she doesn't look as like she's spent an absolute fortune. It looks kind of natural, but
Madonna.
you can tell.
worried about Madonna at the moment. I really am. Like Madonna for me, like some of the
Yeah.
best. For me, probably one of my favorite female musicians out there of all time. But I'm just like worried. I see them like, are you desperately trying to stay young and youthful? It's just age gracefully. And there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Look at me, my mustache.
Yeah. Cher's done it in a nice way.
Yeah.
Sure, but
I think
she's done it in a way that it doesn't look
like she's trying
to stay young, and
Yeah.
trying to like.
and it looks like you can tell massively, but
I think your voice is kind of a bit alien there at the moment. I think it's a bit distorted then. If you speak at the moment?
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Sorry, it was just going a bit like
Yeah.
For the audio listeners out there, it's fine. It's all sorted, all good. So you said Cher, no, that's never had that one.
Yeah,
Turner maybe once, but Cher never been said.
Yeah, like Cher's such up there. She's just an icon.
I don't even know what she looks like now. I don't know why, but I used to get her and Celine Dion mixed up when I was younger. Don't ask why.
I can see why.
I'd be like, oh yeah, Cher.
Why.
Like, oh yeah, my heart will go on. She's like, yeah, she's like, no, she fucking didn't. That's such a great song, by the way. Celine Dion for me, just just that high note, and now I'm just gonna put some like classic music on. Just who needs Post Malone? And I thought,
no. Like Post Malone could do his thing. I just love the old school. Like I love Tom Jones. Like Tom Jones is up there as one of my favourite artists. Like just so amazing, and like I love watching the clip where he's on The Voice and he just starts singing.
He's cool.
I just love that because it's just such a cool guy.
He seems quite down to earth a little bit as well. I'd like to see him.
Yeah, he's very down.
None of my mates want to go, and like it's quite expensive, so I'm like, oh, I really want to do it, but I don't want to stand on mine like a dickhead. But Tom's pretty cool. He's pretty cool. But Cher, that's a good answer. Tina Turner, Paige. I think I've heard she's always nice to her fans. I'm a bit worried about her. Like since she's come back, I don't know if she's 100%. I was actually really happy about her return. I even tweeted about it. I said like this.
I was happy.
But I don't know if whether it's just a confidence thing, because what happened to her pretty serious. You know, doctors like again, and then she's cleared, but at the same time, everyone's different. You know, it takes time.
And it's a mental block after an injury, especially. Like early on training, I had a couple of issues with my knees, and it took me so long to mentally come out of that and not like be scared to do simple moves, because I was like, I don't want to land on my knee. And even now I'm still a bit funny about it, but once you got past that one mental block and done it once and you're like, oh, that was actually fine, it carries on. It's a constant mental game a lot of the time.
Definitely. It can be like inside your head can be your worst enemy sometimes, as I know.
And
I think a lot of people know it there as well, but you know, I'm quite open about that sort of thing. But it's okay, you know, if you do have that sort of mental block, even not just wrestling, you know, it's fine. It's understandable. It's normal. That's it. So last question for you, Violet, and I'd like for you to tell the listeners out there, if they want to keep up to date with you, your wrestling career, your future shows and matches, where can they find you on social media?
So you can find me on Facebook on Violet Nyte, professional wrestler. I've got 2 Facebooks because when I set it up kind of weird and I didn't realise it. So I've got 2, but obviously I'm on either. They're both me. You can find me on Instagram as well. Just Violet Nyte 23 or something like that, or 21, or I don't really know. But just search Violet Nyte and I'll pop up.
You do come up as Violet Nyte on Instagram, it's fine.
Yeah, it'll come up. My next couple of shows, I'm at CPW Commentary Pro Wrestling.
Nice.
Reach at the end of August for a triple threat with Nadia and
that's big,
Aluna.
isn't it? Plymouth, isn't it?
Exeter.
Exeter. One more thing on Reach Academy. Is that in Plymouth? No.
Yeah, the academy's in Plymouth.
That's it.
You can find me.
My mate trains there. Like, my mega Luke, shout out to him.
Yeah. Oh, Omega Luke. I know Luke. He's lovely. I met him.
He's actually one of the reasons I do.
He's lovely.
He really inspired me. I met
Yeah.
when did I meet him? Before the pandemic, actually. And he used to do like a wrestling talk show and before the game and stuff, because he blew up massively. I'm so happy for his success and, you know, the football match stuff and the stuff with his dad. And he's honestly doing so well. I'm jealous, but I'm happy for him at the same time. But yeah, because he had me on the show to talk about fantasy booking and wrestling and blah, blah, blah. And then from there, I was just like, maybe I can do it. And then I just kind of got confident and I had him on, I think, the fifth episode. So massive shout out to Megan. Really nice guy.
Yeah, he's lovely. I can't wait to see him again at Reach. You can find me at Top Hamburger Wrestling in the next couple of weeks. The next couple of months. We've got September, October, and November show booked. So I'll be on all three of them. Where else can you Ring Wrestling Stars? I'm not 100% sure because I do a couple of different locations, but if you go into my Instagram or their social medias, you'll be able to find their sort of where their shows am and that. And then just wherever I'll have me. Like in the meantime, if I get booked somewhere, I get booked somewhere.
But you got quite a busy schedule.
It'll always promote. Oh yeah, for sure. It's it's been nice because like my summer months tend to die down a bit anyway. Because a lot of people do carnivals or carny shows, and so it's nice to have the time off. Because from like a couple of months ago, I had about 3 or 4 months where I had 1 week off. So it's nice to have a time period to focus on training and getting myself more things. Like I'm into the gym anyway, but getting myself more focused and back on track. And
you're sponsored by gym. What's the gym called that you're sponsored by?
Workout Fitness. I go there I haven't been there properly for a while because I started a new job and I had a lot going on. But amazing gym. Everyone there is proper like family friendly, and the owners, Paul and Tracy, and are so lovely. And everyone there, you go in, you don't know people, but you talk to them, and they just turned around and said, "We want to sponsor you," and I was like in shock. I was like, nice. I can't believe that.
I don't think I'm going to get any gym sponsoring me.
Oh,
that's not happening.
But they're just.
But that's cool. They see something in you as well, and it's the fact that you represent the brand, and it's going back to what we said in the beginning: the fact that they're trusting you in that position, main event, brand deals, endorsements, You're making a name for yourself, as I said in the intro. I see a big future for you as well. Already messing with established talents that I've had in the show.
Thank you.
And you've now been in the show as well. It's been a good chat. Not just talk about them, but to talk about yourself, where you began your journey into wrestling and where you are now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I'll have you back on as well. But if listeners out there, if you can all give Violet a follow on our social media handles, they will be in the description below in case you missed it. If you can follow me on my social media in the description below, that would be handy. That'd be fucking what? That'd be handy. I suppose I handle again. For fuck's sake. For fuck's sake. I haven't done this about a week, right? It's been a long day, but it's actually been a good day, so I can't complain. But if you can like this video, subscribe to the account, and keep up to date with Violet on social media. Like I said, do that. But for now, everyone, I hope you all have a great week. If you're in the UK, it might be sunny, it might rain. Who knows? But take care. Hello there. I've got a special announcement for my next guest.
Hi, I'm Zizi and I will be appearing on What Do You Call It podcast.
You heard.